Shall we gather at the river?
Yes.
Amen. I love that. Last time I was here, I talked about choice making. And I took the liberty to preach from the prophecy of Jeremiah. And again, I will do it today, but not without mentioning this wonderful passage of Luke that I'm sure is familiar to most of us gathered here about serving two masters. And one of the reasons I decided to focus on Jeremiah was the fact that this is such a familiar gospel passage, but also I think in today's world, when we talk about only serving one master, it's kind of a difficult topic. So I thought, let's take a few steps back in our Christian history, maybe several thousand years, and look, as the people of God have done for centuries, to the prophecies. And why else would I choose it? Well, as some of you know, there's been a lot of grief and loss in my family. How could I avoid the message here? My joy is gone. Grief is upon me. My heart is sick. Well, I guess it's not the happiest way to start a prophecy, is it? And actually, it's somewhat into the prophecy of Jeremiah that we encounter this wonderful passage. But it goes on, and then if we're dared to keep on reading, we have so many things here that to me speak of the human experience of loss. The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and then there's this awful part about, and we are not saved. For the hurt of my people, I am hurt. I mourn and dismay has taken hold of me. These are not the kinds of passages that we Episcopalians tend to focus on. Why? Well, we are in love with the risen Christ, and well, we should be. Many of my Anglican professors talked about us being the Easter people. And we are, absolutely. And that's also a reason I would focus on this ancient prophecy, because as Easter people, as those serving the risen Christ, we are reading it through that lens of the coming and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So then when we get to the part in Jeremiah where there is the question, is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? We know that the answer is always a resounding yes. Yes, the balm is always there. Yes, the physician is there. And then the question, why then has the health of my poor people not been restored? Well, to me, there it is. The crux of the message, not only thousands of years ago to the people of God, but maybe even more so to this day, to we, the people of God. Why has the health of my poor people not been restored? Because, in my opinion, but it's only my opinion, we are an unhealthy people these days. It seems to me so very difficult to find the restorative, and we think of ourselves also as Christians practicing restorative, not punitive justice. Where are those places, those institutions? And let me also say, those fellow people of our faith, of other faiths, who have tried to build a culture and a people in this country practicing justice. But here we are, gathered at St. Andrew's not by the river, but let's pretend. We are that balm of Gilead. Because we can answer these questions Jeremiah is posing with a resounding yes. Maybe especially in those times when joy, as the prophet said, is gone. I would add, when it feels as if hope is gone. But we are the balm. We are each and every one of us, the physician. We are the ones that know every day that Christ is risen indeed. But it's hard work. Let's face facts. We're grateful here that we get to put our message out through Facebook and beyond the walls of this place, but even with all of that, it's hard. It's hard to find people who, like us, believe that the point of life itself is to be that balm of Gilead. For those who feel grief is upon them, I feel that these times in which there's so much loss, things have been stripped to the bare bones minimum, that we really recognize what a gift and blessing it is to be followers of a risen Christ. Because that's exactly what, in my view, this passage ultimately describes. Oh, that my head were a spring of water, and my eyes a fountain of tears, so that I might weep day and night for the slain of my poor people. Not weeping for myself, but for others who grieve, for others who need to be restored, for others who are oppressed, experience injustice, violence, or enslavement. But how? How does one weep for another if one cannot see that other person? Which is how I get back, as we should always, to the words of Jesus. My favorite and most challenging 2 words in the gospel anywhere are keep awake. I ask myself every day, should I watch the news or should I turn it off? What is my responsibility? How can I get beyond myself? It has been hard. Those of you who are of color in this congregation know far more than I about how hard it can be a follower of a risen Christ in an unjust world. But how fortunate I feel I am to come into this place, and I'm sorry, rather late this morning, to find the small forgivenesses. Thank you, Mother Meg, for coming, late as you are. And for the big ones that are that balm. I'm not sure that all of you necessarily recognize the power that you have and give in this place and among those you know. And I know most of you pretty well by now. You have continued, and I saw it this morning again, to be the most graceful balms I know. This is a place of people of selfishness, for the most part, aggressiveness. When I go down south, I wonder how I can drive without people blowing the horn and telling me what to do in traffic. Around here, in this special space, We've created healing for one another. It is my prayer and my hope that we will each find ways to be the spring of water, ready to shed the tears that others may need us to shed for them, so that we collectively and individually can be that balm for the slain people we know. Amen.